Hey everybody, the Super Vader 400 here, Douglas Blair Roberts here. Time for another review. And as you can see by the title above, this is my second spoiler-filled review of the 2017 film Justice League. Yeah, this is a re-review of a review I did last year. For those of you who know me on Facebook, there was a minimal spoiler review on my main Douglas Roberts Facebook fan page. And for those of you who know me on YouTube, there were two reviews of Justice League on both my Doug8798 and the Super Vader 400 YouTube channels. There were two reviews slash rants. This right here is a full-length review because while my opinions on the film for the most part remain unchanged, I still like the movie. However, my opinions and views on the film have differ considerably since the last time I saw this film. I've seen this film about 8 times already, and each time I watched it, the film got better and better. I remember being hugely disappointed by it when it first came out, and the film was okay at best, but I was disappointed because this was supposed to be the Justice League. This is supposed to be the biggest film of the year, and the DC Warner Brothers kept making the same mistakes they've been making since Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And Justice League, while okay, the film was pretty good. It was lackluster, bland, and forgettable. I had major high expectations for this film, and the film didn't really live up to any of them. And the film, pretty much, it was just, this film was supposed to be the biggest film of the year, and it wasn't. They didn't even break in $700 million, and that right there, while I was still mildly interested in the Justice League, that just killed any real interest in the DCEU. That killed any interest in the DCEU for a while. But after rewatching the film several more times, I enjoy the film more now than I did when it was in theaters. This film is much better on DVD and Blu-ray than it was in theaters, and now I am fully excited for the next installments of the DCU, which of course the next installment is actually later this year. That's Aquaman. Then next year is Shazam, and 2020 is the Green Lantern Corps. So yeah, they're also, I think next year there's also an untitled, another solo Batman movie. So I'm waiting for all those, including the sequel to this movie right here. Well, like I said, this will be the spoiler-filled version of this review. There's already a regular version. There's already a minimal spoiler short version on my Doug8798 channel, another long version on my Super Vader 400 channel, which that for the people on YouTube, that link will be in the description box below. And for those of you who know me on YouTube, and for the Facebook, I will reshare the one on my Facebook page on my brand new fan page. With that being said, let's get started right now. This was the webcam portion. The narration portion with audio and pictures is coming next. Let's start my theme music. everybody? Super Vader 400 here, Douglas Blair Roberts here. This is the second part of my full-length spoiler-filled review of the 2017 film Justice League. This is the audio review portion of the video, and with that being said, let's get started now. Like I said in the webcam portion of this review, um, this film is way better on home video, DVD, and Blu-ray than it was in theater. Like I said, or yeah, November of last year, I wanted to see this movie when it came out, but like I said in the webcam portion of my videos, I have a strange relationship with all of my parents, and really do not want to do anything with them. Then the one friend I wanted to see this movie with, we had a huge argument. We're no longer friends, and so yeah, that ruled him out. Then the second person I wanted to see the film with, she was super busy, and I didn't know for sure she actually liked the DCEU. I knew she likes the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I didn't know she liked the DC Extended Universe. And then of course, last but not least, there was a theater closest to me was recently closed down for the second time. So I was out of luck and had no choice but to watch the film online. And the stream I watched was absolutely terrible and really killed my enjoyment of watching the film. So I should have went and saw this movie back when it was in theaters, because like I said, this movie is so much better now that it's on DVD. Now that it's on DVD, the CGI, the cinematography, and everything looks so much better. It looks like one of the things I love about the DC Extended Universe. This film Justice League was a comic book come to life, just like the other four DCEU um, movies here. Just take a look at the Justice League right here, the live action version. Then I'm about to show you a picture of the comic book New 52. That's what the Justice League look like. They look like they look like they just walked. The actors in this movie look like they just walked straight off the pages of the DC New 52 um, comic books. That's, like I said, that's the one thing I like better about DC. See, Marvel is much better when it comes to heroes and characters and naturalism, but DC is so much more powerful and so much more comic book like, and that's something the DC Extended Universe does not get credit for. One thing I like and don't like about Marvel. See, Marvel wants to make every hero, every character useful, so they scale down the power levels, tone down the power levels of various characters in the franchise in order to make the heroes more useful. If you go back to watch films like Avengers, the Avengers movies, characters like Hawkeye and Black Widow, if the characters in the film were, if the bad guys in the film were as strong as they were in the comic books, those characters would not be needed. You would just need Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, and depending on the situation, maybe Cap. But the other characters I just mentioned, none of those characters would be needed in battle. You kind of see that here with and you kind of saw that here with Justice League. Justice League. They don't scale down at all. They portray these characters as powerful as they were um, in the comic books. In the comic books, um, I liked everything about this film: the story, action, cinematography, and the clever use of motion capture. Motion capture, which in my opinion is inventions one of the greatest inventions in modern film. Man, you can do so much with motion capture. I want to be an actor. I'm training to be an actor, and with motion capture, I can play just about any role, even the role of monsters and mutants. So So, yeah, the only problems I had with this movie, and I still have with this movie now, is um the villains, the villain Steppenwolf's motivation, his um his plan, and the Justice League. While this film did a good job of adapting the Justice League comic books, did a solid job. This team, and this is something I sensed at the beginning of the DCEU before Batman v Superman, was this Justice League felt small. It didn't feel like a full length team. Justice League team without characters like Arrow, what's the other guy's name? The Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern. Especially, this team felt lackluster. It didn't feel like a legit Justice League. It didn't feel like the real Justice League team. It felt small, especially in comparison to the Avengers from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that was one problem I sensed before Batman v Superman. I was actually angry when I saw casting choices for when I saw casting choices for Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and Flash and Aquaman, but I didn't see no casting choices for other characters like Martian Manhunter and the Green Lantern. And I thought that right there um, was a mistake, and it turns out because, like I said, this Justice League team felt lackluster and small in comparison to what is in the comics and what is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So those were like the only problems I had with the film. Now let's talk about the storyline. Of course, I like the storyline. The mother boxes, Steppenwolf, who thousands of years ago was driven away by Zeus, Hercules, the Amazons, the Earthlings, and the Green Lanterns. The Green Lanterns was forced to retreat after a chaotic battle. He decides to come back. He decides to come back thousands of years later when he after the death of Superman, and the stench of fear from the humans brings him, and the mother brings him to Earth, and he looks for the mother boxes so they can they can destroy the world and wipe out all life on Earth. He also does this to escape the servitude of his master and nephew, Darkseid. Darkseid. So yeah, um, that was one of the things. The first problem I had with this was what stopped Steppenwolf from invading Earth in all those a thousand years. Why did he wait 1,000 years to invade Earth again? What was stopping him? When I saw this, this immediately reminded me of Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat. But Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat, if you know the plot to Mortal Kombat, ten has to win 10 Mortal Kombats in order to invade the realm of Earth. That's what stops him from invading the realm of Earth. Um, um, so that was the first problem. That was the first problem I had with that. What stopped him from invading Earth all those thousands of years ago? The second problem I had with Steppenwolf's plan was I never like it when villains just really want to destroy the world. Really want to destroy the world unless there's a good reason to destroy um, the world. I feel a villain who just wants to destroy the world, I feel that's weak. I feel that's weak and terrible writing, and this is a problem I have with Marvel and DC. Marvel does this too. They get away with it, but both Marvel and DC does this. They create a big, strong, powerful enemy just for the heroes the heroes to fight, and we're supposed to like the heroes and hate the villain all because he is stereotypically evil. And I don't like that. In the comic books, it was more simplistic. Steppenwolf was Darkseid's lieutenant and one of his henchmen, and that's it. The comic books kept it much more simplistic than what was in this movie. So yeah, and of course, the Justice League, Wonder Woman, Batman, Flash, and Cyborg try locating the mother boxes and fighting Steppenwolf on their own. They fail, and then they come up with the idea of using the mother boxes to resurrect Superman. Superman is resurrected, but immediately sees the Justice League as the enemy and beats them up, especially Batman for not letting him die. The Justice League go into the final fight with Steppenwolf, go into the remaining Justice League members, Batman, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, and Flash, and Aquaman go into battle without Superman, take the fight to Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf, who has already activated the mother boxes to destroy Earth. While he's doing that, Cyborg does his best to close and turn off the Cyborg and Flash turn off the mother boxes while Wonder Woman and Aquaman fight Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf they fare badly until Superman enters the fray and easily defeats Steppenwolf, and Superman manages to turn off the mother boxes and mother boxes and just when they think Steppenwolf is gone, Steppenwolf takes Flash by his head and throws him into a wall. Aquaman immediately throws his um spear weapon at Steppenwolf, punches him, and then they notice Steppenwolf um is starting to become scared. Is starting to become scared at the growing power of the at the growing strength of the Justice League, and after Superman and Wonder Woman destroy his axe, um, the Parademons immediately sensed the fear and immediately began attacking Steppenwolf, and he's transported back to Apocalypse. So, like I said, awesome film. I loved every scene in the movie with the final battle between Superman, the Justice League versus Steppenwolf being the greatest. Um, Flash, Cyborg, Superman, and Steppenwolf were the greatest characters in the film. The weakest character in the film, in my opinion, was Aquaman. They tried to portray Aquaman like the professional wrestler Roman Reigns, whom I can't stand. Um, Rob Zombie and Thor. Thor, and they used his appearance from the '90s Justice League, and I think he looks like that in the new 52 version. I wanted the old school clean cut Aquaman and the happy, optimistic, always eager to go into battle Aquaman versus the personality in this film. I didn't like the way Jason Momoa portrayed Aquaman in this film. He wasn't a bad character by any stretch, but he was the weakest character. He was the weakest character in comparison to all the other characters. Flash, Flash, Urza Miller's Flash. When I first saw this movie last year, initially was annoyed by his performance. Initially annoyed by his performance. The one thing I didn't like about them was how weak and how wussified they made Flash in this film. He was all scared, not really wanting to engage or fight people, and that's not Flash. But I guess they were trying to show a more underdog, inexperienced Flash, who realistic Flash, who was only stopped bank robbers and costume villains, never fought Titans like Steppenwolf. So I think that's what they were going for. And I enjoy Urza Miller's performance much much better now. The scene with him and Bruce Wayne when they first meet was absolutely hilarious. Was absolutely hilarious. Loved loved what's his face Ray Fisher. Ray Fisher. Loved Ray Fisher's portrayal of Cyborg. He was probably, along with Henry Cavill, he was probably the MVP of the film, and probably more so him because Henry Cavill wasn't in it until like the beginning and very end of the film. So Ray Fisher was probably the MVP of the film. He was trying the most in this film. Wonder Woman and Batman were good, but they, in my opinion, they were better in their respective films and the previous film, Suicide Squad. So yeah, they were better in the previous movies, and loved I remember his last name, but his first name the bad guy portraying Steppenwolf. Oh yeah, Siran Hines. Siran Hines. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Siran Hines. He um he does the voice and motion capture for Steppenwolf, and boy did he do a good job. Despite Steppenwolf giving a weak motivation, he brought a lot of charisma. He brought a lot of charisma and intimidation and unintentional comedy to the Steppenwolf character. One of the funnier moments in this film was when Steppenwolf was interrogating the prisoners about the mother boxes, and the woman said, "Please don't. We have families." He said off screen, he said useless, and snapped her neck and killed her, and then he grabs the next guy and he says, the guy says once again, "Please, I have a family." And Steppenwolf was like, "Why does everyone keep telling me that?" It was hilarious. And finally, Cyborg's dad, the toughest one around, was intimidated by him, and Stephen was like, "I like you. At least you don't whine." So yeah, Hines brought a lot of charisma and intimidation and unintentional comedy to the Steppenwolf's character, man, and it was awesome. And he was one of my favorites in the film. At first I hated the way he was defeated, but I liked the way he was defeated because they didn't kill him off, and there's a good chance we will see him again. I wouldn't mind seeing him again as sub boss in the DC EU, a sub boss to Darkseid and his forces, like later on, what's his name? Yeah. So yeah, these were things I liked about the film. Loved every scene in the film. Loved every scene in the film. Loved this scene of Atlantis, and you saw Aquaman's wife. Aquaman's wife, that really has me excited to see the Aquaman film later this year. I also loved the cool flashback when Wonder Woman was describing Steppenwolf, and we saw Green Lanterns, Hercules, Zeus, Ares, the Amazons, and the Earthlings fighting Steppenwolf in an awesome um battle. That has me really excited to see the future of films. Like I said, the best scene was, in my opinion, was the final fight, but all the action sequences were good. The film started off great after the comical scene with Superman, with the little kids talking about Superman, asking him what does the S stand for, and one of the kids asked, "Did you ever fight a hippo?" "No, that's dumb." One of the kids said that, and then of course you had the film immediately start off with Batman fighting one of the parademons. The parademons, they were awesome and intimidating. Just like their comic book counterpart. Then of course Wonder Woman stopping a bank heist. Um, Cyborg, love the stuff with his dad. Like I said, he was probably the MVP. Can't wait. I can't wait for all of the solo movies featuring these guys. The problem I had with Justice League, going back to stuff I didn't like about it, is after you watch this film, you'll forget all about this film. It doesn't leave much of an impression like the MCU movies do. That was the biggest problem with this film, and I just wanted this film to be the biggest film of the year, and DC just made so many mistakes that it just briefly turned me against the DCEU. But like I said, after watching this film multiple other times. I've seen this film 7 times already. I can't wait. I'm watching it again. I have it on pause to finish. I have it on pause to finish this review right here. But after I'm done with this review, I'm gonna finish watching the movie again because movie is that damn awesome, man. In the future, I just don't feel like it right now. But I'm gonna take my camera and do a video review with actual footage from the film. That's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I just need to find a website to put that stuff on. But yeah, so that was what's his name. And I also love J.K. Simmons, who was J. Jonah Jameson in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. He was awesome as Commissioner Gordon. Jeremy Irons was awesome as Alfred as always. And yeah, speaking of awesome stuff, in the post-credit scene, I also love the post-credit scene of Lex Luthor escape from prison with Deathstroke looking just like his comic book counterpart. Deathstroke talking about forming the Legion of Doom or the Justice Society of Evil, a much better Justice League film, and I'm pretty sure a part two of this film, which is now on hold to focus on a standalone Batman film, will be much better because you'll have more heroes like Shazam and Green Lantern already developed. So yeah, already can't wait for part two. And I hope things work out well for DC because I don't want them to go away. I don't want them to fail. Like I said, Marvel is better, but DC is more powerful and more comic book like, and yeah. So yeah, awesome movie. Well, I'm finished for now. I'll get started on my other videos now. About to finish watching Justice League. Alright, I'll see you guys later.